What's up, gamers? Time to play some Seven Knights. Today we're going to talk about some new heroes, new updates, more than anything else. Basically, there's going to be a lot more Awaken heroes. They're really pushing to get these heroes up there. So I kind of want to do a couple of things here for you. We're going to talk about Elysia Awakened, which is important because she's actually pretty much the best way to deal with hard mode Castle Rush. No, I think we might be done with Castle Rush for the day, I believe. Yeah, it's already done. Okay. So I'm not going to really show that off, but basically, I did get Helenia awakened. I I actually have Evan awakened. I don't think I showed you that guys that on the last video either. So we'll probably do a little bit of arena just to kind of show you what they're like. So, but yeah, so we've already seen Karen. Let's check out Evan real quick. Basically, just as a review, his passive ability increases defense of all allies by 50%, and then reduces damage received by 50% and reflects the rest of it back on them, which is fantastic. Um, Multi slash, 100% damage to the enemy with the highest physical attack or magic for 2 times. Piercing takes effect, and then you can potentially stun them for 2 turns, and it life steals for 100%. So that's not bad either. Of course, you have the defensive one, the taunt all enemies for 3 turns, protects allies from damage 1 time, which is really good, and becomes immune to debuffs 2 times. So that's awesome. Um, and then, of course, his Awakened ability deals a fixed 2,000 damage to all enemies with piercing that will take effect and recovers 1,000 HP to all of your allies. Like, that's really strong. Um, this right here, this ability is what is also a reason why Evan's also good in Castle Rush hard mode, because sometimes it's hard to deal a good ton of damage. So anyone that can do at least 2,000 fixed damage or more, you want that in your team. So I got him up to level 40. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if I ever told you guys this, but if you get someone awakened, they can be more than just +5. As you can tell on the top where it says Stand Up Destruction Karen +8. That's right, you can actually do what's called an Awakened power up. Basically, what that is if I wanted to sacrifice Lania, for example, for 30,000 gold, I can go ahead and just basically make her +1. Or if I want to get rid of Snipper too, which I will because I honestly don't care about Snipper, I can actually make her +10, which I'll go ahead and do. So it'll cost me 60,000 gold. So what I'll do is I'll see if it'll let me do it now. And boom. Karen is now officially maxed to level 40 +10. Well, level 40, yeah, +10. And I need to do the same thing with the others another day. I just kind of wanted to show that off to you that it is doable. We looked at Evan. Now let's check out Helenia. She's really, really good as far as Castle Rush is concerned. You absolutely need her if you want to survive. Basically, all allies become immune to 3 target AoE attacks for 6 turns. Becomes immune to all debuffs that cause reductions. Decrease enemies' block rate by half for 6 turns. Pretty awesome. Inflicts 90% physical damage to all enemies while recovering 150% of that damage dealt. And you decrease the enemy's attack by 40% for 2 turns. So she's become what Rachel once was, which was more or less the Queen of Castle Rush. Um, and then she blocks all enemy attacks for 3 turns while taunting the enemies, and increases defense by half, which is pretty good. And then her Awaken ability decreases all physical damage received for all allies by 60% for 6 turns. Increase the block rate of all of allies by 50% for 6 turns. So this is definitely what you're going to need for Castle Rush. This is how you're going to survive for the most part. And I have her equipped decently, you know what I mean? She's got some decent stuff. She's only level 38. I don't have her at 40 yet, so that's another thing to consider. One more thing that I do need to show you guys, Delans. Seven Knights in general. They gave them a new look. They actually look awesome. Their abilities look different. They're really awesome. And they can be a max of level 46 now, if I'm not mistaken. I actually got Delans up to level 42 at the moment. Of course, he has to be like the best equipped in my team because he's more or less the leader. So just to confirm, yeah, he's still my leader. So I get extra physical buff for caster rush and other things that's necessary for. But yeah, that's a big deal. Matter of fact, I actually keep forgetting to do this, but we can actually preview what he looks like. So let's take a look at his two abilities. This just looks awesome. That poor little guy. And then the last attack. Cease to exist. Yeah, that just looks awesome. So this is something I should have been doing in all my previews, and I kind of apologize that I haven't been doing it. But yeah, that's definitely something you want to check out. Um, and as a matter of fact, since you're not going to really see what her Awaken ability does, I'll show it to you. Here we go. Blessings of light. Guard us. So when she does that, it usually hits everybody in your team, and you get all those nice buffs. Everything else looks pretty much the same. And Evan, you're about to see, and Karen, you're about to see in a fight, so I wouldn't worry about showing that off to you guys. But that's really the important things, updates you need to know. One other thing, just to show you, is there's another hero that can be awakened now. I believe it's wrong person. Snipper is now accessible as an awakened hero. So now these are his awakened abilities. He becomes immune to physical damage for 4 turns. Additionally, increases crit rate for all odds by 50%. Increased damage by 80%. So that's not too bad. He inflicts 250% physical damage on one enemy. Additionally, crit will be applied. And inflicts 200% physical damage on one enemy 2 times. Additionally, ignores the enemy's defense. He's basically good as far as targeting one person at a time and dealing with them. His Awaken ability inflicts 500% physical damage on one enemy. Resets all skill cooldowns of himself and increases crit damage by 50% for 4 turns. So that's kind of interesting. I think it's okay. I'm not really a huge fan of Snipper before and even now, but I could see it being good in like a main raid boss scenario where it's like you got one big target. He could be pretty good as far as being your damage dealer. And yeah, we'll take a look at how his ability looks. Let's take a look at it. Show them to me. There you go. That's exactly what it looks like. And just because I kind of do want to show you guys, I wanted you to see this the last time because I actually don't have her, so I'm just going to show it to you. We'll take a look at Elysia's Awaken ability because I haven't gotten her yet, and I want to get her so bad. She's so good. And she has a defensive Awaken ability that's freaking fantastic. But we already talked about her, so I'm not going to really discuss her. I just kind of wanted to show you that tidbit. Now, as far as arena is concerned, I'm actually in Diamond rank, which I haven't been in Diamond rank in a while, but my new team has been doing decent. And I say decent because I'm barely over 50% win rate, so it's nothing great. The new season for arena has just started. So, I mean, I have been doing okay. But basically, my team is now Dellins, Ren, Karen, Evan, and Neza. Basically, the reason, other than the fact that he's level 42, the other reason that I run Dellins is because some of his abilities, I think, got updated, if I'm not mistaken. He's immune to damage 4 times. He additionally increases the damage of all allies by 50%. I think at one time it used to just be physical, but I might be wrong. Also decreases skill cooldown by 7 seconds with each basic attack, which I don't recall him having a while back. That's pretty cool. I don't remember him having some of that ability, and maybe he did, and I just didn't notice it. We all know what the others do because we've already kind of talked about them. I don't think you guys ever see me run Ren. She's the newest addition to my lineup. I'm just trying to more or less. Oh wait, I can awaken an item. I don't think I've ever shown you guys this before. I thought I was missing something. Let's do that. Oh, now she has an awakened Seven Knights weapon. So that's pretty awesome. So she's going to be able to do a lot more damage, which is a good thing. I'm actually showing you guys things I wasn't even really planning on showing you, but it's actually good. It's going to help me in this arena fight. Let's see, she's already got her stuff mostly awakened. He needs a little help, but he'll get there. She's got 2 awakened items, and of course Dallin, he's already pretty much stacked for the most part. So let's see a couple of arena fights. As you can tell, I've already been playing just a little bit just to kind of get a preview of what I was going to do. I actually planned my video against Yendor. Pascal's very popular these days. She got some decent damage in there. The reason I'm actually running Neza and Evan together is because a lot of people try to do that fixed damage type abilities. With those two in play, that means that whoever's casting that spell is going to take a lot of damage. Like Evan right here might take a lot. Yeah, he did take quite a bit. But he also gained health, so yeah. I just love the way Dylan looks now and how he does his moves. It's so dramatic. He didn't deal any damage, by the way, but it was just cool to see. So he should take a lot of damage here. Oh, why does she never stun them like she's supposed to? Oh, that's right, because they run Spike. See, these are the fights where you're fighting a bunch of other awakened people. If I can not die here, this will be nice. There we go. Now this is where it becomes a new fight. They did it and so can I. A nice reset that we both got. My reset was a bit better. Yeah, Ren becomes much better as the fight goes on, typically. Despite the fact that she's getting her butt kicked. It's smart that this person's running Spike because a lot of people are running, a lot of people that do either electric damage or stun damage. And if your people are immobilized, you'll more or less lose the fight. I just have a decent team with decent equipment, which is the reason I'm not auto-dying for the most part. Yeah, we can play the revive game all day. Whoops. Messed that up. And kill 2 of my people. Hey, might see Evan go off this time. There he goes. I'm actually kind of losing here. Well, it's hard to tell because everyone keeps getting revived on both sides. Like whoever's carrying dice first loses. That's what it looks like at this point. I like being able to heal people that can deal damage by just sitting there. It's kind of convenient. My damage output's kind of low, it seems. But I make up for it in defense. Yep, their Pascal just died because basically they took double damage because I was able to reflect twice. Like I think I've been dealing more damage that's been reflected than I've actually inflicted myself. Oh, this might be a problem. Okay, my Karen's still good. Oof. If my Karen was like permadead, I would say that I'm done. But no, we're all right for now. I just need Karen to be awakened real quick. Oh, this is not good. Oh, this is bad. Oh yeah, I think we're about to lose, guys. This is rather unfortunate. But yeah, these fights take a while now because that's what it turns into. It's a battle of attrition. Okay, now I'm not gonna be able to revive Ian if I get my abilities ready. And there you go. Like that was basically us going back and forth, reviving off and on. That's how these fights get these days. Actually, I think we have Guild War going on right now. Let me double check. Oh, we do. All right. Well, let's take a look and see how we're doing in this war here. We're currently 4-3 in this season. It's the Dragon 7 Knights versus Immortal Wraths. So let's see what's going on here. We are currently winning by 1. Wow. So clearly this has been a close one. If we want to look at our history, it seems that we got mostly wins here. We had 2 people who had a loss. And then on the enemy side, they've been... Oh, actually, someone actually lost on their side, too. It's too bad we can't actually see the fights, but that's okay. So I basically had to pick 2 opponents that I want to face. We're going to find someone near the top that's not equipped properly. That's what I've learned is in this format, it's not necessarily about what team they have. It's more about what kind of equipment they have. Okay, they only have 2 people. I'm surprised no one's attacked them. Well, I'll attack them then. If I lose, it's because it's going to be embarrassing, though. Does he have a... I didn't check to see if he was awake, and I think... Oh, no, he's not using them. Never mind. Oh, Evan got his Awaken pretty quickly. I'm not 100% sure how this gets triggered, I'm not going to lie. But I do think that was kind of early that he got it. So glad he's targeting Evan, because that's more damage that Dellins takes. I know, I typically don't do fights like these, but right now I'm just trying to get our gold up. I'm trying to make sure that I get the maximum amount of gold. I'm surprised that no one's even attacked, because, I mean, we're probably halfway done with today's battle. Typically, somebody would attack, you know, a weaker person. But I think they avoided it because they were in the top tier. And maybe they just assumed it was going to be too strong without actually looking. So this will be a lesson for you guys. Actually look and see what each team has. Because this was pretty easy. I'm going to get 3 coins out of this, for sure. And then 50 honor. Alright, so let's pick another group to fight. So now it's 30 to 26. So we'll go down here actually. Let's see who's down here. Let's see. Okay, he's got quite a few awakened items on his people. So we're gonna say no to this one. I've learned that the reason why that lower level people beat higher level people, a lot of the times it's their equipment, it seems, and then who they're running is a part of it too. So right now these people are mostly lower level compared to me. They don't have many awakened items either, so on paper I should win this fight. Because if you notice, everyone that I selected, I don't think anyone had an awakened item. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Okay, their healer has an awakened item. That's it. Oh, and an ace. Whereas if you look at my people, we got tons of awakened stuff. Well, not tons, but we're mostly. Everyone's got at least something except Evan, apparently. So we should be able to win. So we're going to give it a shot. Against Pay Time! Or Pay Time. This is typically what you want to do in Guild War, by the way. You want to face people who... Ideally, you want to try to face one of their stronger teams. Whose equipment's not as good, because you'll get more honor for it. And it's good morale for your team, and negative morale for theirs, because they're like, oh wow, one of our good people lost, as they would think. You know, that might, I don't know, throw them off a bit for some reason. Evan's been going off a lot today. Oh. Okay, so now we got to deal with a field of 5, I almost called him Cloudwalker again, 5 Wukongs, which is actually worst case scenario in a fight like this, but I think we'll be fine. We got one of them stunned. I think there are 5 right now, or was 5. I may have killed one. No, there's still 5. You just can't see the one on the bottom because the Awaken meter is covering the bottom one. That's the bottom one right there. That's doing jumbo pull. Oh wow, like 3 out of our 5 people are either electrocuted or stunned. So that's why we're not doing anything, is because those negative abilities are messing with us. Do I recommend Elysia for Arena? If you don't, I'm going to say no. I mean, if you don't have Karen, or if you don't have a good tank in general, if you don't have Evan or Karen Awaken, then yeah, go ahead and do Elysia. Matter of fact, after this, I'll kind of give you my top picks for what if for those who have never awakened someone and you're wanting to know who you should awaken first, I can give you some suggestions depending on what your focus is. You know, because typically people either focus on Arena or they focus on Guild War. Some people are more about Raid just because they want to get, you know, the dragon items and stuff like that. But I don't know if there's really any hero that I would recommend for Raid, personally. I mean, I don't know. I mean, because Elysia wouldn't necessarily be good because she prevents mostly physical stuff, and the destroyer gauge is mainly magical hits. So I don't know. I guess Snipper. Now that I think about it, Snipper would probably be the best person to get as far as Raid's concerned. But we'll get to that here in a minute. Let's just finish watching me beat the crap out of these Wukongs, these clones. See, this is the other reason that I run Evan and Neza, is because a lot of times my people are going to be stunned and electrocuted, so I'm going to be stuck doing nothing. Well, while I'm sitting there getting beat up, as they're hitting me, they're taking damage too. So it's as if, you know, I'm still doing something, despite the fact that I'm not taking an action. Now, the reason why there's a 7 out alive is because she has the auto-revive ability. But if Cloudwalker dies at the same time as any hero that has a resurrection ability, Sun Wukong's ability will activate first. It has priority. When the clone dies, then whoever has the resurrected ability that hasn't been activated will then trigger. So Sun Wukong's has priority. So we got 2 stars. It was kind of a long fight, so that kind of makes sense. So we're basically winning, which is good. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and just briefly discuss. I'll collect my reward here. We're gonna briefly discuss what is who is recommended as far as Awakening is concerned, and I'll collect some stuff while we're here. So we got 8 topaz, which is actually good. You think S rank in hard mode you only get 8 topaz? Topaz is not that easy to come by, so getting 8's still not terrible. But alright, so let's go over who I would recommend as far as Awakening. If your main focus, we're gonna go to the codex because I don't have most of these people. If your main focus is raiding, then Snipper is gonna be your number one because he specializes in targeting one hero at a time or one enemy at a time. And since there's only one enemy when you're doing raid, Snipper is probably the best person you're going to be able to use for dealing a lot of damage. And we're just talking about Awakened heroes, not heroes in general. So Snipper, which I'll go ahead and just bring him up real quick for those who forgot who he is. Awakened Snipper is going to be your number one pick if your main focus is raiding. And it's mostly because 500% physical on one enemy, on top of increasing crit damage for 50%. That's pretty strong. Um, oh, and then, of course, the whole resetting your skills. So you can kind of cycle with this. So you basically do your active skills first, and then you do your Awakened ability. So, but yeah, 200% physical damage on one of his regular ones, and he has one enemy, and then 250%. So yeah, I mean, honestly, Snipper will be your first number one pick if you care about raiding a lot. If you care about doing a ton of damage and raiding, this is your number one pick. For those who care about arena, my personal opinion would be, honestly, and I don't have her unfortunately, but I would argue that she's probably the best one to get. For starters, her passive ability, she's protected from debuffs. That's huge right now. She protects all allies from debuffs. I thought it was just her. She protects all allies from debuffs for 2 turns. That is huge in arena right now. So if you get her, you technically don't need Spike. So there you have it. So she's probably my number one pick for arena. She's also been the damage 4 times. And then, of course, if she were to die, she'd go to 1 hit point like 1 time. Active skills, I mean, she does physical damage, and decreases recovery rate. I don't think that ability is that big a deal. This is really this is the one active skill that's important for her. 3,000 fixed damage on 4 enemies. You don't see 3,000. You see a lot of 2,000s, but not 3,000s. So she's going to do some massive damage. Decrease the enemy's buff duration by 2 turns. So that's pretty cool too. So she could potentially knock out people who are in auto res mode, like Gipperang, Chris, all of them, Tio, because now Tio's been running a lot as well. And increases the enemy's skill cooldown by 20 seconds. I always forget about this part. This is a really good active skill. It does so many things. Lots of damage, debuffs, and increases or messes up their cooldown. That's a lot in one ability. And then her Awaken ability, all allies become immune to damage twice. The effect applies to ignore armor and all that. Additionally, become immune to debuffs for 2 times. Or debuffs twice, more or less. So yeah, Elysia is probably the best hero for arena in terms of Awakening. She should be your first pick if you can get her. Obviously, she's hard to get. If I was to say, honestly, I don't know how I feel about Klahan personally. I see some people run him, and I mean, he can dodge getting hit, which I guess means something. The problem with this guy is I just don't. I don't know. I can take him. He doesn't do anything too great to me. I mean, he Evades all attacks potentially. Immune to damage 5 times, which is not bad actually. And additionally increases attack by 50%. So I mean, he's not bad in general. 60% physical, 60% physical on all enemies twice, with piercing and ignoring defense. These are good, solid abilities. 100% physical damage 2 times on 3 enemies with the highest physical or magic attack. Crits will be applied, reduces buff duration by 3 turns. This is the ability right here that honestly makes him worth using. Just because, you know, anytime you see someone that gets auto revived, it's the 3 turns that automatically kills them because they're usually up for 3 turns. So he more or less takes out people like Tio, Gipper, and Chris in one shot, assuming that the RNG is in your favor. And then, of course, his Awakening ability is 200% damage on all enemies, with piercing and paralysis, potentially. So he's pretty good. I mean, honestly, he wouldn't be bad for Arena as well. So, I mean, he could be like your number 2 or number 3 pick. Um, as far as anyone else I'd recommend for Arena, I mean, you would have to go with Evan and Karen. Evan is 2,000 fixed damage. I mean, it's you don't want to not have that. 2,000 fixed damage, and then also healing your people. Offense and defense together. This ability is pretty good too. The whole taunting of all enemies, for 3 turns. And then of course protecting from damage and whatnot, being immune to debuffs. I mean, that's pretty solid package right there. This ability is okay. Um, this ability is not. I mean, the best thing about this ability really is the fact that it can stun and it may give you life still if they're not immune. And then of course, the buff to defense is nice, but nothing to brag about. So I mean, I like Karen more than Evan, just because she can revive everybody, which I believe is this ability right here. Restores all allies once with 100% hit points, and they're immune to all damage 1 time, and becomes immune to debuffs 1 time. So that's pretty solid if you ask me. I think that she's the reason why a lot of teams stay alive in Arena is because she's constantly reviving. They're immune. Karen is just super strong. I like her a lot. So those are my picks as far as Arena is concerned. If you're into Castle Rush, on all reality, your absolute number 1 pick has to be Helenia. There is absolutely nobody else that would be better than Helenia in Castle Rush. And I'm talking hard mode, by the way. We're not talking about normal and easy. Normal and easy, there are different strats. But hard mode is a completely different beast altogether. But yeah, I would absolutely say Helenia, number 1 pick for Castle Rush. And mainly because of this ability. Decrease damage, reduce all physical damage, which all of them do physical damage, by the way, by 60% for 6 turns. And increase block rate by 50% for the same amount of turns, you're not dying for a while. That's what that basically means. And of course, the Celestial Shield's not bad too. A little bit of taunting to keep you alive. This ability is okay, but it's not going to really keep her alive that well. And then, of course, being immune to 3 target AoE attacks is pretty strong too. Because the hard mode Castle Rush runs, what's his name? I forgot already. I used to use him too at one time. Aragon. He does a move that does like a ton of damage to 3 people, which will more or less auto kill 3 of your people. With this out there, you'll be fine. You won't have to worry about it. You're also immune to all debuffs that cause reduction, or she's becomes immune to all debuffs that cause reductions, so that's pretty decent. So she's absolutely number 1 draft pick for Castle Rush. Other than that, I mean, you can run Karen. She's not bad as far as keeping your people alive, but I use her against Chris in Castle Rush hard mode just because he won't auto kill your people when you get there. Evan's pretty good too because anytime you can deal 2,000 fixed damage, that's the thing. Same with Elysia. She's probably pretty good to have. Um, and honestly, that's it. Like I wouldn't recommend nobody else as far as for Castle Rush. So those are pretty much who I would recommend for each respective mode. Um, I'm also gonna kind of give you just a little advice when you're doing Castle Rush hard mode as I start collecting stuff. More or less, when you're doing Castle Rush hard mode, the idea is to have Helenia first and foremost, awakened Helenia. Let's be specific. But just in general, other than awakened Helenia, pick people who do fixed damage. Pascal, Elysia, Evan, Sarah. Those are going to be the heroes you're going to want to. Oh yeah, you want to know what they look like. I keep forgetting. Well, actually, I can show you Sarah right now because I'm actually running her. She's who you want. 60% magic damage on all enemies, inflicts 2,000 fixed damage on all enemies. Piercing takes effect. So you want her on your team. You want Evan on your team because of his 2,000 fixed damage and his awakening ability. You want Elysia, who we just talked about. And Pascal, who I have not shown you guys today. I'll show him real quick. Actually, no, I'm not because I have no idea where he is. Now that I think about it, I have no idea where Pascal comes from. Other than he doesn't come from there. I'm sure he's Asia areas. Okay. So, okay, that's the wrong one. So there you go. 80% magic damage on 3 enemies twice while dealing 2,000 fixed damage. So he's good too. So that's pretty much who you need on your team. You need Awaken Helenia. That's like number 1 draft pick. Followed by anyone that can do 2 to 3,000 fixed damage. That's really all your team needs to be, and you'll be solid. There's really no one else that you need. Now, there are others that could be recommended if you don't have, all the 2,000 damage heroes. Like, I don't. I mean, the only 2,000 damage heroes I have is Evan and Sarah. So, typically, when I'm doing Castle Rush, it's usually Awaken Helenia, Awaken Karen, Sarah, Evan, and then I forgot who else I'm using now that I think about it. I'm not sure if it'll let me go and see. Yeah, it won't let me look because it's not time yet. Not for another couple of minutes. But there's a 5th that I run. I just can't remember at the moment. It's probably either Neza for the sake of reflecting damage, or it's probably Neza. Now that I think about it, just for the being able to reflect all that damage, more than likely. But I could be wrong. But either way, this is going to end the video for today. I hope I was able to give you guys some good info. I hope you guys have fun with this game. Anytime there's an update, that's the only time I'm going to be making videos. I don't do weekly videos in this game anymore, just because it's hard to cope with, content. So anytime there's a new hero, a new update that's important, I'll definitely make it a video eventually sometime afterwards. But until next time, you guys take it easy.